Hi, it's time for another installment of Millennium County. Been a few weeks, but I finally got my butt back in here to get some work done. It's very infrequent nowadays, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, my main thing I wanted to accomplish was getting the drop-in bench assembly that's behind me. And then in front of me, which you can't see at the moment, is the extension of the bench extension that's actually kind of permanent for the turntable. And then I've got to put in a small section over here to my left, to my right, or your left, depending on how you look at it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've done. I've got all the preliminaries done. I still got to mount the foam on top of the wood. I haven't gotten around to that yet, but I've got the wood drop-in bench built. And a rather unique lock-in assembly. I couldn't find anything. I went to the stores and I said, this is what I need. And they gave me that deer caught in the headlights look. So I bought some joist hangers, you know, for roofing. And said, well, you know, I could probably utilize these somehow. And I had a completely different idea. And I was sitting there one day and I said, wait a minute, if I drilled a hole through that and put a bolt in there, I'd have pins, and then the wood, you just drill a hole in the wood, and they would slide right on over the pins, and it would be, you know, it would be an acceptable locking device. So, and then you could take it on and off at will. So I did that. I mounted these joist hangers, or whatever you call them, and on the existing bench work, drilled a hole through them along with the wood, and put the bolts through them with a nut, and you just slide the wood right over the top of them. And I've got a single bolt that goes in the side, you can't see it, underneath to lock it down so you can't accidentally pick it up. That just slides in place like a pin. Anyway, it's a pretty slick idea. So I'm going to pause this for a minute, and when I come back, I'll show you what I've done. Hang on just a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on this. There we go. Ooh, too much. I'm going to be very careful here. I ordered a new video camera. I haven't gotten it yet. There's one of the brackets with the pin in it. You can see what I've done here. I screwed this onto the existing benchwork, drilled the hole, used a 3/8 inch bolt and a nut to hold it in place. They're not real tight. They want a little bit of wiggle room in there so they can find the hole easy. I've got three of them. I got one here, and one here. And then there's a hole drilled right here where this lone bolt goes right in there to lock it down. Pretty slick. So, I'm going to go ahead and set the wood on here. Well, let me zoom back out first. There we go. Now, it's a little tricky, and this is probably going to be a two-person job when it comes time to take it off once, you know, because you're going to have buildings on here, track and everything else. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky to do with one person. Yep, that's it. Take our bolt. And that's it. I've got a nice solid piece of shelf here now. Alright, well, we take another break. We'll turn the camera around and we'll see what we got going here. Okay, we're back again. Now this is looking behind the table I just dropped in. This is a semi-permanent situation. I mean, it can be taken off, but it's not as quickly as the this one here behind you does. Now I'm going to put a 13 3/4 inch turntable in there and some traction, possibly, I'm not sure yet, maybe an engine repair facility back on this side in front of it. They said the room was kind of touchy here, so yeah, I really have to work around things. Now, I'll take this off of here for a minute. Over here, in between the two, I'm going to have another ledge that will also be set up as a drop-in with the bolts. And the main track will be going toward that. And only be out maybe 2 inches at the most. So that'll connect the two pieces, and of course that, like I said, that center section will lift out, and this of course will lift out in case I need to get back there in that corner. If I had to take that section out, I could. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to set it up so it'll be a little bit of a job removing it, but it can be removed without doing any destruction. So that's what I've done so far. We'll get the foam on here in the next day or two. I don't expect this video to come out until probably right into the 3rd week of the month. I'm not sure. Could come out sooner, but not 100%. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I did add a couple of cars in here. I think I added 1 or 2 more. Yeah, that's all I've done so far. Of course, I made one heck of a mess. And there's a major mess everywhere. So I got to do some reorganizing. I think I'm going to move this shelf down here over to the left on the other side. Because it's just getting too crowded over here. Plus, there's shelves behind this shelf that are not really accessible. In fact, you might be able to see them back there with that shelf in the way. So I just got to do some serious reorganizing and cleaning here, and I think I'm going to do that in the next day or two, probably while I'm installing the foam tops. So I'll be back again as soon as I'm ready to show more. So stay tuned. It'll all be tied up in this episode, which is this will be episode 15, I believe. We're getting there. Anyway, thanks for watching so far, and stay tuned. I'll have the rest of this video before you know it. Bye. Alright, we're back. Supposed to glue this down today, but I don't have any foam adhesive. It is cut out though. That's where it's going to go. So tomorrow I guess I'm going to have to make a run down to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick up a caulking or a tube of foam adhesive. I thought I had 1 more left, but apparently not. So anyway, this one's cut. And might as well go ahead and mark the one out for the turntable part over here. And amazingly, I I had some extra foam laying around. That was almost the right size. So, and you can't get much closer than this. It's almost perfect. All I've got to do is actually bring this up just a little bit more. I'm not going to cut the center out yet because it may or may not be the absolute right diameter. So it would be smarter to wait till I buy the turntable and utilize the template that comes with it and make an exact cut, because, you know, once you make a mistake, well, it's kind of too late. So, take this off for now and go ahead and start cutting here. And cut very carefully around the curve. First score. And the second score. And that's it. Just a little bit trimming here. Alright, that's what we've got so far. Good thing I'm not claustrophobic, or this would be a problem. Okay. Wood's in place. Move the camera over here a little bit. Okay. I've got the wood in place so far. And it looks like that's a pretty good cut. I think I may have to trim off just a tiny bit here. And for that, of course we're going to make a mess, but you know, that's what this is all about. Making messes to clean them up. The little shredding tool. perfect. Maybe just a little tiny bit more. That there is about as close as I'm going to get it. So we're going to leave it at that. Well, that's two pieces done. All I've got is this. Let me move this over here some. Alright. This piece over here, just a little tiny bit. But the dogs are going nuts. Yep, they're going nuts. Alright, well. I don't think this piece is quite long enough, but let's see. Nope, a little bit short. But this piece here, definitely be long enough. Oh yeah, okay. Well, that was a little shaky there, wasn't it? Alright, right about here. There we go. And there you go. Now those three pieces are cutting in place. Of course, they'll have to be glued down. Like I said, tomorrow I'll go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and one tube ought to do it. And that's going to be the last of the foam that needs to be put down, at least that I'm aware of. So, after we get that, we'll paint it and start laying more track. And that's probably going to be, could be 2 months before I get the turntable, because it's pretty pricey. I really don't have the money for it. But might be able to work on maybe putting up the fascia. I think I've got some left, but if not, I could always buy a half sheet. Stuff's pretty cheap. And that's about where we're at right now. There's several other segments that I filmed about a week or so ago that'll be incorporated into this episode. And this episode, by the way, is being filmed with the new camcorder. Finally had to go out and buy a new one because the tripod mount of the old one, the little screw underneath there, the nut, made out of plastic and just disintegrated. No way to mount it on a tripod, and of course in this thing you gotta have a tripod, so. So it was time anyway. The other camcorder was 12 years old, going on 13. So, and they're a lot cheaper now than they were back then too. So anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and conclude this segment. I'm debating whether or not I've got a bunch of old snapshots of the first layout and the second and the third layout that I built in this very room. And, you know, they originally started out with N scale and then decided that my big fat hands were a little too big to handle the N scale with any ease, so I sold off everything and went to HO, which I should have done to begin with. I guess I was trying to get better use of the room with the smaller scale, which would have been great, but, you know, like I said, you got to factor in the old hands. So anyway, I may or may not incorporate that into this this episode. I guess we'll find out here in a little bit. If I decide to do it, it probably won't be for a day or two. So otherwise, if I don't do it, this will be the end of episode 15. Otherwise, the snapshots will come in with a little bit of narration. And that'll be the end of episode 15. Because I'm not sure how far we're running on this either. I don't want to have a long drawn out video because I know everybody gets bored real quick. So, stay tuned. I'll let you know. And we'll see you soon. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Oh, you gotta love new tech. Here you go. See ya.